Hey, what's up guys? Drone Mechanic here. I haven't posted in a while and I'm going to be having a video of my Eachine 250, but I wanted to show you something else that came in the mail. Droney Claus came early today because I have an Eachine V-Tail 200 FPV racing drone. I kind of just stumbled across this on Banggood, and not to give them an extra plug, but it was a really good deal. I mean, FPV quadcopter under $100, and it's got the cool configuration with the rear motors mounted upside down. I just had to check it out, so I got the red, white, and blue, the all-American Patriot package. Just want to open it up, see what comes in the box. All right. The all-important manual. Alright, here's the quad. Oh, this is really cool. Oh, I see it comes with a battery. Got a little 1500 milliamp 4S battery rated at 50C. That's pretty beefy. It's a pretty beefy battery right there. The Eachine brand. And here's the quad. It's got a lot of... It's a pretty cool configuration. So it's got an FPV cam mounted in the front right there, and it's got some Emax motors, which is pretty sweet. I have not seen this inexpensive a quad with Emax motors on it. 20 amp EACs, one shot 125 support, which is awesome. BL Heli installed on the EACs. Okay, it looks like a video transmitter camera. Video transmitter over here. It looks kind of like a weak little antenna. Maybe we can beef that up, but looks pretty nice. It's got two USB ports, so you got one on that side and one on that side. And from what I understand, those USB ports allow you to. This one programs the OSD, the on-screen display, and this one programs the flight controller. Now, the flight controller this is based on it has Clean Flight installed. It's an SP Racing F3 controller, which is pretty sweet. So you can flash it with Betaflight if you want to. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about with this quad is this looks a little delicate. It's only held on by a little flimsy plastic bracket here, which I can tell is coming a little bit loose. Maybe it's just there's a mount there. It's probably a shock mount. But I'm just afraid that it's very possible that I could get broken or knocked off or something. So, I will test it out and see how that guy performs. I'm sure you could just take this off of here, use the camera connector, and or change the transmitter here and maybe just mount like a run cam to the front, something that doesn't have this flimsy little plastic bracket. But we'll see how it performs. We'll check out what else is in the box too. So in addition to the quad, we have an AC adapter, probably for the battery charger. Looks like a USB cable, probably for programming the flight controller. Also comes with, this is kind of cool. Nice little Charsoon DC 4S LiPo battery charger. So it looks like it has a little monitor on there. Oh yeah, it takes let's say it takes this little guy right here, which I have bench power. So we can just plug that in. Got some lights here. We can. I suppose it must just charge by the balance plug. It's got a 4S balance plug on it, so looks like it's telling me it's already charged up pretty well. Cells are a little off, I can tell. So all 15.4 volts. Cell 1 is 3.85, cell 2 is 3.86, cell 3 is 3.85, cell 4 is 3.85. So it's good. This is a fully charged battery, it seems like. I don't know if it will charge if I don't need it to be charged, but voltage detector. Okay, that's cool. I don't know exactly the read on that to see how you charge it. but that gives you a good indication of the charge of the battery, so that's kind of neat. I like that. Nice aluminum case on the outside. Let's see what else it comes with. Alright, so they also sent some props. These are gem fan props, which is really, that's kind of exciting. So looks like they give you one set for the quad and an additional set just as backup. 2 different color props, so that's nice. These are 50-45 bullnose props. So they have a different flight characteristic from like your typical prop. I guess it's made to be a little more aggressive. And then, I'm not sure what all this is, but it comes with some extra pieces in here. I'll have to rip this open and see what's inside. I have a feeling they sent some extra pieces because they know how delicate some of it is. So, right off the bat we have what looks like a custom blade tool, maybe for tightening the bolts on the motors. Has a bunch of, oh yeah, it's a nice little Eachine, like a multi tool. They gave what looks like some double-sided, some Velcro, maybe to put on your battery, so you can Velcro to the bottom of the quad. I have no idea. Oh, we got something else here. We got an extra ribbon cable. This looks like the same ribbon cable that's connected to the battery. I mean, connected to the camera. It looks pretty similar. Yeah, so maybe they expect you to have a couple mishaps. Maybe this gets cut once in a while because it's just so exposed to the front of the camera. You can tell, like, it's so out there. It's just one good snag on a tree or a rock. If you land too hard or you hit, I can see that getting ripped right out. So that's probably why they gave you an extra camera cable. They also gave us what looks like a UART cable. So this is something that probably plugs into, yeah, there's a DSM port right here that would probably take a special kind of receiver if you want to plug it in there. There are a few UART ports. They actually have one of the UART ports right here plugged into the PPM receiver cable here. I'm not sure where they were expecting you to put the receiver because I don't really know if there's, maybe you could just tuck it inside here. I'm not really sure where it would be best to put it. Or maybe you could take off the top plate and put it underneath here. I'm not too sure what they expected to do with the receiver, but there's already a cable plugged in for the receiver. Yeah, this thing's pretty beefy. Alright, so we got an extra cable there. And then there's a special in the box here. And this is interesting. So there's some extra blades for taking motors on and off. And then there's this. And on the back it says Bluetooth. And then it has a UART cable. So are they trying to tell me they included like a Bluetooth transceiver that I can use to program my device remotely? That would be pretty sweet. I didn't notice, I did kind of flip through the manual earlier in the night and I did not notice any mention of a Bluetooth receiver in this entire manual. So I do see information about there's buttons and a micro SD card slot and a video in on the recorder. So I think maybe on one side of this thing oh yeah, it's right up top. So it's covered by the ribbon cable, but on one side of this thing there is an SD card reader right underneath, tucked underneath that cable there. So you could pop an SD card in there to be able to DVR record everything. There are some buttons. Oh, I see them right here. Oh, that's why they put the cutout. There's a little cutout in the body right here, and one button is for, button A is to short press to start and stop recording, and holding it then power on to change video output format. And there's a reset button as well. So this, I guess there's a little button here to start and stop the recording. I have no idea if the OSD would show you when it's recording or not. I'm not sure why they didn't program that into the controller, so you could start and stop the recording from far away, but something. You know, with a lot of the stuff you get, it's like you really don't know what they were thinking when they put it all together. So you just You just slap it together and hope for the best. I think this is, for being like 70 or 80 bucks on Banggood with a coupon, like this thing is pretty sweet, and I'm excited to get it out in the air. I love how they mounted the ESCs. They're all kind of just part of the frame essentially. It looks like they were soldered and kind of clamped on this side. But I've read that they're replaceable, so if one goes bad, they essentially built connectors on the bottom that you could just swap them out. So this looks pretty sweet. I like Eachine stuff, and this looks like a very capable quad with even blade covers and everything. So I'll be setting this up and then taking it out for a spin for sure. Okay, I just wanted to bring this up really quick because I couldn't believe it myself when I first saw it. Banggood has like the worst marketing ever on the planet because nowhere on this box does it say anything about Bluetooth, GPS, anything. It just says it's a V-Tail, it's 1080p, it has an HD camera, which 1080p is HD, so don't have to tell me twice, but it does have DVR, fast speed, a 5.8 GHz video transmitter, and clean flight software. Yay. But look at this. Right on the top, plugged into the UART3, which is right here, there's a GPS chip. There's nothing on there about GPS. And I looked in the manual, and sure enough, it had latitude, longitude, and signal lock information. So here's the transmitter. You can use these little pins right here to set the frequency. So if you already use FPV gear and you want to follow a particular frequency, you can. And then I cracked this open. I didn't even know. Here's the SPF3 Evo. It has an SPF3 Evo in it, which is even more spectacular than I thought it could be. And I believe, and I'm not entirely sure, I'll have to check this out, but I believe right here it has an SD card installed, which I believe is for the black box recording, which is amazing to me. It also has a little buzzer down there. If you could see in the corner, I don't know if you could see it that well, but there's a little buzzer in there. And that's just amazing. I mean, none of that stuff is advertised at all on the entire quad. Anywhere in the materials, the box, it's typical stuff you get from a Chinese company, I guess. But there is a G95 GPS chip installed on the top of this thing, like custom made or custom installed for this particular application. I can't wait to see what the OSD looks like when I finally fire it up. It says clean flight and you got to configure everything. I'm going to see what it looks like out of the box because, boy, am I shocked. So I just wanted to show it to you guys. It even included this Bluetooth chip, which I was reading the manual information. You can hook this up to the UART port as opposed to the GPS, and you can get telemetry and all kinds of data on your smartphone app of some kind if you wanted to just hook it up via Bluetooth. Bluetooth range is limited, and frankly, I think GPS functionality is way more helpful than Bluetooth. But very cool. I'm still going to give this a shot. I mean, it's easy to unplug something from the UART and just plug this in, fire it up, connect to my phone, and just see what kind of data the app provides me. Pretty sweet just to try. And I mean, it comes with Emax motors. And this entire thing, and Emax Lightning ESC. So this entire thing cost me 70 bucks shipped from China. And it has Emax motors, Emax ESC, a GPS chip, an OSD, a buzzer installed on it. I mean, 20 amp ESCs. This thing is light bars all over the place. This thing is pretty incredible. So I am excited to see what this looks like once it gets fired up. Hey guys, Drone Mechanic here. I recorded that review and immediately went out and tried to take my new drone for a test flight and promptly crashed it and broke the fragile tail at the back end. You can see that here. So I did learn a pretty harsh lesson. This guy is pretty fragile, as I've seen in some of the reviews on Banggood and elsewhere. None of the other reviews I've watched so far have mentioned the tail being so fragile and parts of the quad being so delicate. So it was a big learning experience for me, and it also forced me to create some pretty good mods, I think, that really fix some of the big flaws with this quad. And I will show you those mods in a new video I'm working on right now. It'll be up soon. Okay, take care.